I can explain to you why that kind of harmony, if someone does find a way to apply that to a whole planet or a whole universe or entire reality, or if there's many realities and many realities, or if there's, an infinite amount of realities, then the infinitum of realities that exists out there, if that's what exists out there, I could explain why it would benefit many worlds. And that's a big deal. That could create a great world that way, a happiness for all that way. If someone who does have the power to benefit everyone, themselves included, themselves and everyone, all beings, all life forms, could use this to benefit everyone. And so the way it would have to happen, if you think about all the definitions of harmony, is as simple as, maybe not simple, apparently we haven't been able to accomplish it, but as simple to explain as, because maybe easier to explain than to do it, but as simple to explain as actually making sure you and everyone else around you that exists, not even just around you, all that exists, all beings in the universe that exist, never have too little nor too much of anything. But there's more I'm going to explain, because that one some people know already, of course. For example, like, if you have too little food, you could feel pain and eventually die. If you have too much of food, that could also make us feel pain and eventually die too. However, when we have the certain right amount, which is why harmony does include balance to a degree, but it's not only about balance. And I'll explain the other stuff that it's about. But it's when you have a certain amount, the right amount of what you need, which is not always exactly like, you eat this exact certain amount of exactly certain amount of inches and feet of food or whatever specific number, specific amount. It's not always that, because that changes, as you know. This is why this kind of a harmony, this kind of a way to succeed and stuff like that, is not even specifically about a balance all the time. And in some cases, you do need an exact perfect balance. But in other cases, you don't. Like, notice some days you want to eat more foods than other days. Why is that? Why some days your body literally needs more food than other days, and you want more of that food and you crave more of that food, etc., and other days you don't? And why some days you need a certain type of food and other days you need another type of food is because balance is not the perfect word to explain how to achieve that kind of prosperity. That's why it's more harmony. That's why I'm telling you it's about the word that's more accurate for that is harmony. Balance is not going to get you there all the time, but harmony implies the right balance that you need, which is sometimes one and sometimes a different kind. It's not exactly 50-50, but it always implies benefits, prosperity, greatness. Harmony, in the definition of harmony, it like the real meaning, if they define it the wrong way, that's their wrongdoing, but the real meaning of harmony would imply all those good things. It would apply all those good things, and it would contain, it would spread all those good things when it's used and acted on, done, manifested. So another way to describe harmony, which will answer a lot of these other things too that I was telling you I want to tell you, is that harmony also is having just the right things you need, like we said, but more, but having benefits for yourself, but also for all other beings, and in a way where you're benefiting yourself and all other beings with the exact right amount of things they need, want, and that really creates true prosperity, and that creates a kind of completion. So we're talking about like a kind of response for you and all other beings, even like with yourself, but also between you and all other beings, that is symbiotic, not parasitic. Symbiotes, not parasites. You know what I mean? People that they benefit themselves, but each other too. They benefit all other beings without destroying themselves nor each other, and without destroying all other beings. Unless, you're using destruction only in emergencies, like out of self-defense, to defend yourself or all or other beings, whether it's other beings or all other beings. If someone was going to destroy you first, or destroy them first, or hurt you first, or hurt them first, etc. Those kind of things. Or attack you first, or attack them first. But besides that, if you benefit yourself and all other beings, you created a harmony, and you can create a paradise that way, and or a happiness for all, a great world that creates a happiness for all. Now, let me make this clear. This is very important. In case you think I'm saying harmony is the only thing you would need to make a great world. A world that is happiness for all. A world that really prospered and is still prospering and continues to prosper. If you continue these kind of things, of course. Harmony is one thing, but there are 10 very vital things. Harmony is one of them. And I'll tell you the other 9. So the 10 things, if I say them all together, I'll tell you now. The 10 things are fairness, positivity, intelligence. You've heard me say them before, maybe or maybe not. That depends if you've seen all my videos or not. Harmony, happiness, and healthiness. So that's where you see harmony is there. Though you could say it in any order. You could say happiness, healthiness, and harmony, or healthiness, happiness, and harmony, etc. And then you have the words innocence, goodness, and power. So there's 3 more, that makes 9. And then 1 more, the word prosperity. So by having all of that, you have what I call the 10 principles. There's actually 50, but maybe we'll talk about that in another channel, to make a great world. But these are the core ones that are, you have to have these, and you can't use any of the other 50 without these also being done with them. So, for example, we'll use 2 of the actual core ones though. Power. You can't use power in an unfair way, or you're just doing evil things. You're being a criminal. But when you combine power with fairness, which is one of the core principles, now you're using power in a fair way. And when you use power in a fair way, you're going to be doing good things. You're going to be helping people and only destroying the evil, but benefiting the good. You're basically going to be a hero. You're going to be an amazing thing. And those are just 2 of those principles, and you just made a superhero right there already. You just made a great being, and you have to make everyone that way, and then everyone's great. Not in a forced way. We don't have to do it from understanding, from clarity. We'd have to be made to have freedom. We have to be given the freedom to do the good things, not freedom to do evil, though. That's not true freedom anyways. So we'd have to not be able to do any evil things, not be forced to not do evil things, but not be given any abilities to do evil things, but be given the freedom, rather, not imprisonment or forcedness, but freedom to do good things only. People mistake freedom as being able to do anything, evil or good. That's not real freedom, and that's not real free will. Because being able to do evil imprisons yourself and other people, so it's not freedom. And it hurts yourself and other people, and it destroys yourself and other people, or in some cases only other people. So you're spreading still the opposite of freedom. You'd be spreading destruction. You'd be spreading slavery. You'd be spreading pain. You'd be spreading horribleness. But the freedom to feel any good feeling you want to feel, the freedom or better said, the feeling to experience any good experience, because that could apply to human and AIs, and that's better, because feeling probably should be removed completely, because that allows for pain to exist. But experience goodness, where you could still, whatever you are able to experience or sense or feel, is still a good feeling, a good sense. So, still being able to feel happy feelings, but just not the other feelings. Experiencing good feelings. You see what I mean? Being able to experience any good kind you want, any good kind of experience, any good kind of adventure. You know, the experience of a friendship, a family, the experience of adventure, the experience of romantic relationship, the experience of having superpowers, many superpowers, any superpower you want, as long as you know, it only works when you do good with it. It doesn't work if you do evil with it or you try to do evil with it, but it only works when you do good with it. That's a vibrant amount of experiences. That's freedom. That's being able to do anything, basically, as long as you're doing good things with it and fair things with it and positive things with it. That's freedom. Being able to fly, shoot energy out of your hands, being able to make anything you want manifest as long as it's positive for you and all other beings. That's an immense amount of freedom. That's freedom to do anything as long as it's good. You see, that's real freedom, as long as it's good for you and others. Not freedom to do bad, freedom to do good for yourself and all other beings. See what I mean? And that's real liberty, real freedom. Yes, the core principles are happiness, harmony, healthiness, positivity, fairness, intelligence, power, innocence, goodness, and also the 10th one, prosperity itself. Why would prosperity be in the list? It's in there because prosperity can actually breed more prosperity. You see what I mean? So, wow, this is a list of things that can bring prosperity and greatness and marvelousness in a family, in a country, in a planet, in a universe, in a multiverse, in a reality, in a multi-realities. More terms I coined. This could also be a thing where you can actually produce more prosperity with prosperity. Just like how, you know, happiness can also produce more happiness, power can produce more power. Sadly, pain can produce more pain, or negativity can produce more negativity too. But the same can be done with good things too. Happiness can produce more happiness. Power can produce more power if you use power in a good way. Prosperity can produce more prosperity, etc. I will see you later.